quorum. We are awaiting the arrival of Mr. Councilmember Wisad. When he comes, we will move forward. Today is February 1st, 2017, and we're prepared to move our agenda promptly and quickly. I thank you, all of you, for your patience and assure you that once he does come, we will be as efficient and as effective as possible. Thank you. Hey, everybody, thank you. We are now prepared to move forward. This is the Housing Committee, HCID, Wednesday, February 1st, 2017, 200 North Spring Street. I am Councilmember Gil Cedillo, Chair of the Committee. I am joined by my esteemed colleagues, Councilmember Jose Wisad, and the Honorable Senator and Councilmember Curran Price. Thank all of you for being here today. First order of the day.
Item number 1, Mr. Chair. Appointment of Ms. Amelia Herrera Robles to the Commission for Community and Family Services.
We have general public comment first, though. And let me read the rules so everybody has notice. A member of the public speaking on more than one agenda item shall be allowed to speak for up to 1 minute per item to a total of 2 minutes per meeting. There will be only opportunity to speak other than general public comment for those members of the public who have submitted speaker cards on more than one committee agenda item. General public comment is for non-agenda items within subject matter. Each speaker shall be limited to 1 minute of general public comment per meeting. Maximum time for one speaker on multiple agenda items and general public comment in the aggregate is 3 minutes. Thank you. We have public comment. I got this one. No. Gentlemen, I welcome you up. Let's go. Antonio Ramirez, please join us up here. Followed by Puppet. I assume that is you, sir. And then Herman. Wayne, for the record, can we put your name here when you fill out the card? Yeah. All right. It's you, Wayne. It's you. We know it's you. It took a while, but we figured it out. You come up, and then Herman, come on up. Herman, please join us.
Oh, he doesn't have a microphone. He doesn't have a microphone.
They'll move it over towards you.
Okay.
They'll accommodate you.
So he has to, he needs another.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he needs a microphone.
Well, you can share.
Can you borrow that
No,
microphone?
you can borrow the one right in front of you.
We'll take care of it.
Proceed.
Proceed.
No, right there, right there.
Could he sit in Marquise's seat?
No, he's
Join
not.
the committee?
He's not going to do
He'd make
that.
a good committee member.
Antonio Ramirez, please give us your testimony.
First, please, if you
Yes.
don't mind.
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No,
No, I'm calling you.
Oh, you're calling
she
me.
wants.
Number 1.
Okay.
Number 1. This is regarding Mrs. Amelia Herrera Robles.
No,
It's both.
my dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're doing which one? Could you put me back on 2? I'm sorry. The 2 you said.
Oh, okay. You're doing your 3 minutes. Go.
Okay. Can you start me again? Because
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now we're doing which one in what order? Special meeting first. Okay. Number 1, special meeting.
No.
Which one? Number 1 with
Public
Amelia.
comment and then your agenda items.
Okay.
Regular meeting.
Okay, this is a matter of principle. There will no longer be a horrific housing crisis once our beloved and honorable fortress of a president, Donald Trump, or El Jefe, starts to enforce the rule of law and begins lawful and long overdue deportations. His genuine intent is to hone in and put his presidential duties to heal and house First, our beloved United States military veterans, who many are homeless and on the streets, and all our legal law-abiding citizens, predominantly middle-class America, who is now homeless as well. Then after massive deportations, crime will plummet down, and we lawful Americans can live in a high-standard, beautiful, safe, secure, clean, vibrant communities without having to worry that the wetbacks and the gangbangers will break into your home, vandalize, graffiti, steal, and destroy your life, as they usually did when I was had my own home. And that is that. And number one in Housing Committee. So God bless Donald Trump. I love the man. I believe in him. God bless him and his family, and Mike Pence. And number one, this is regarding Mrs. Amelia Herrera Robles. Her appointment to the Commission of Community and Family Services. My question to the mayor is, why do you always choose Latinos? Why can't we get a white or an Asian? The problem is that there's too many Latinos, and Latinos either pay a Latina or Latino una mordida abajo de la mesa. And so, you know, hey, aquí te va $1,000, Chihuahua, cógele, ay, mira, ay, tómale, ay, no digas a nadie, no, aquí está una mordidota. So once you get the money under the table, you got favors. We need somebody who can be objective, have balls, and stand up for right and wrong and say, no, I do not accept $1,000 or whatever it is you're offering me on the table. So we want somebody who's white. We want somebody who's white and or Asian. We need somebody with integrity. That's what I want. And having said that, I'm disappointed in Mayor's selection. We are in shambles. Thank you to Mayor Eric Garcetti, who will be in Guantanamo in no time. Number two, I'm disappointed with this item, number two. It says here that the Los Angeles Housing and the Community Development Department will extend a shelter partnership for an additional 6 months for these AIDS persons. Most of these aides are gays. Now, secretly, we've got a lot of gay members in the city council, including the mayor, as John Walsh has stated. Why can't we put an extension on shelters for our military veterans? Why does it have to always be the gays, the gays, the gays, the gays? There's conflict of interest. There's conflict of interest. Let's extend shelters and put our military veterans in the shelters and send those wetbacks and gangbangers out of here. Thank you very much.
Comment. Herman.
The microphone. Okay. Put it over there.
So as you heard the Madam Speaker point out item 2 for the record, you know, I'm not a homophobic person, but when you got bitches who can't stand up for their conduct and housing opportunities, especially for people with AIDS, I find that very hostile. You know how many people die from AIDS a day? You know, back in 95 when I was at the county, you know how many people I stuffed in body bags that had AIDS on that 8th floor? The first AIDS unit ever in LA, County, USC. That was a hell of an event. Every day I packed them in bags and put them in the second.
So I think you're a little off point here.
No, I'm talking about people with AIDS. AIDS. People need housing when they have AIDS. You know, you can't work if you have AIDS. Unless you're a millionaire like Mr. Magic Johnson. And you can buy the drugs to sustain your life a little longer. Now let me go to item 4. Item 4, we all know about homelessness. We all can agree that HHH is a remedy to bitch, bitch, bitch. Thank you. Because after all, when you have Herb, Hilda Solis, and Hitler as a category item under HHH, the result is so bad, so malicious and negative. 47,000 up to date on count with homelessness, and not one fucking remedy. Not one fucking real remedy under HHH. You guys forgot when I mentioned when I was up in Sacramento on 1618, no place like home? Fucking poverty pimp motherfuckers. That's what I told Mark Leno, and now I have a new person to visit, Mr. Wiener or Weiner. But we'll talk about that later under item 4. Now, what was the other one, sir, you asked me to speak about? Anyone I want? 3 minutes? Yeah, all right. Let me just go back now to talk about HHH. When it comes to HHH, Not one of you worthless scumbag who takes away from the homeless population have ever set foot in an encampment and enjoyed the day with the homeless person, have you? Go out there to Imperial and Wilmington and look at the homeless population there by Rosa Parks. And yet we had a grand event talking about black history. Well, look what Joe Busciano's done on Imperial and Wilmington. Such a disgrace. Very much a disgrace. Rosa Parks.
5 seconds.
And the train. Once again, HHH, bitch, bitch, bitch.
Okay, Mr. Wayne.
Okay, go ahead for the puppet.
That's right. Yes, thank you. The puppet is back. Now, you refer to this meeting as HCILA. It shows the senility. We're not in an HCID meeting. We're in a housing meeting. I don't know what the confusion is. Well, it's all money. So now, what the fuck is this? The Commission for Community and Family Services? Girly Collado resigned, and Amelia Herrera Robles is going to be the new commissioner? Who fucking cares? Raise your hand if you give a shit. Okay, it's off the agenda. We vote to not take any action on item 1. Item number 2, because I'm running this meeting, is the Los Angeles, oh, here it is, the HCIDLA. You mean the Nazi terrorist HCIDLA that mailed me a letter on December 31st asking for my certificate of occupancy from 1958? Or I was going to be put in the goddamn inspections and rent control ordinance that I'm exempt from? Well, you fuckers lost because my grandmother kept the documents. Now I am exempt and I am grandfathered and not subject to that fucking shit. Now item 3, again the terrorist organization continues with Metro Downtown planning. There is no plan. The only planning is to shove the homeless here, and then over here, and then over here, and then over there. They're not going to give them any housing. I know a lot of you believe this bullshit. 10,000 units of housing. No, they're not going to give any housing. It's going to go to developers and politicians, and then they're going to sublease it at market rents, like Mr. Dennis Zine did in Canoga Park. Ah, I remember that shit. Then we have HHH, written by Herb Wesson, Hilda Solis, and Hitler. Hilda, Herb, and Hitler, HHH. I'm bitching about HHH. Because it's a fucking pile of shit. We don't need an HHH. What we need is an FBI. Instead of an HHH, we need an FBI and a DOJ. Yes, and we need a grand jury. Oh, we have one for Nuri. Martinez is a grand jury. But now we need an HCIDLA grand jury and the FBI and the DOJ. Send these motherfuckers to prison.
Wayne, thank you for that presentation. Okay, so we're going to move back to reality now. Deshaun Keys, please come forward. Sir, I apologize. Well, I don't apologize. This is the First Amendment, and this is a expression of that.
Thank you. Is this on? Okay, we're going to start off with real business.
Yes, sir.
Local law is good. State law, great. Federal law is the law of the land. Mr. Cortez, Crescent Heights Management, and the building located at 10,000 Santa Monica Boulevard, right now, he's not here, then I'm looking at him as a traitor to this state, to this city, and to this country, because that building over there is in violation of every federal housing every federal EOE issue, known every law. I was there in enough time to see the whole setup and the whole system. Mr. Cortez, that head building inspector, we need to be there by Friday. This number is good. I need his cell phone number. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Here's my
Sir,
card.
thank you.
Thank you for the thank you for the sidewalk at one of my properties in the neighborhood. Because I'm not playing. I'm not stopping. I don't care how much money they got, how much influence they have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item 1, we've got, what do we have on item?
Yeah, appointment of Miss Amelia Herrera Robles to the Commission for Community and Family Services.
If she hasn't changed her mind, please come forward. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Councilmembers
Welcome
Price,
to
Cedillo, and Huizar.
see. Yes.
So I was told by Mr. White that I should just talk a little bit about myself,
Yes.
and then you had questions. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be on the agenda this afternoon. My name is Amelia Herrera Robles. I am a proud Angelino representing the Northeast San Fernando Valley, the community of Sylmar. As my resume state, I have had the opportunity to build partnerships and have conversations with a variety of groups and stakeholders on issues of public safety, civic engagement, education, community development, and most importantly now on the accessibility of access to healthcare with the implementation of the Affordable Care Act. I'm very involved with my younger boys. I have 2 boys in high school, so being heavily involved in our youth in making sure that they have opportunities to thrive and working closely with LAUSD is critical, important, and making and having thriving communities. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to be appointed to the commission because the mission is critically important, specifically in making Los Angeles a better place to live for our children, youth, and our families. And this falls really perfectly into the work that we're doing at the Community Action Board Commission for the County of Los Angeles. This year we will be having a variety of public hearings where we meet with stakeholders and nonprofit organizations when we listen about what is it that is needed, what are some of the challenges in diverse communities in Los Angeles, not only in the county but in the city. So I think this falls in really parallel to the work of the commission. So I would be thrilled and honored for the opportunity to work with the leadership of the city of Los Angeles and with the residents of the city of Los Angeles for the next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues.
Well, let me just say we appreciate your willingness to step up and step in, as it were. We certainly can use your expertise and your commitment to the community.
Thank you.
And so I welcome your addition.
Thank you.
Mr. Wisad?
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's have a vote on this.
I'll move it.
Yeah. Second. No objections? So be the order. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Look forward to working with all you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, would you like to move to item 2?
Sure.
Item 2 is a Los Angeles Housing Community Investment Department report relative to extending the contract with Shelter Partnership for an additional 6 months for continued housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, technical assistance.
Good afternoon, Trina Unziker with the Office of the CAO. So our office has 3 recommendations before you. The first is to extend the existing contract that provides technical assistance for the HOPWA program, and that's for Shelter Partnership for a continuation of service of 6 months. The second is to give authorization to HCID to release a request for proposals for technical assistance for the HOPWA program. And then the third recommendation is to have HCID report back to the mayor and council regarding their recommendations relative to the RFP that they'll be releasing in the future.
Okay.
Will that RFP be coming out? What's the plan, at least?
I believe we have a representative from HCID who can provide some more information about that.
Good afternoon, council members. Rebecca Ronquillo with HCID. We're looking to post that in late February.
Mr. Wisad? No questions. Happy to see Ruth here today. And guess we move to adopt the CAO report.
That is correct, yes.
Second, Mr. Price, thank you. No objection? So be the order. Thank you. Thank you. So be the order.
Mr. Chair, would you like to go to item number 3?
Yes.
Item 3, HCID and CAO reports relative to executing agreements with selected contractors for the city's HOPA program.
Trina Unziker, Office of the CAO. So this is also related to HOPA contracts. These are actually in specific service planning areas, areas 3 and 7, and also the service planning area 4, where HCID administers contracts in order to be able to carry out the programs for HOPA. So we're recommending that HCID be authorized to negotiate and execute contracts with the recommended contractors. Those are Lamp Community, Ocean Park Community Center, SRO Housing Corporation, and Foothill AIDS Project. We're recommending that for an initial period of 12 months with an option to renew for up to 3 additional one-year terms.
Sid, you going to come up? So talk to us about some of the challenges in terms of finding providers for SPA 4.
Well, what I would say, sir, is that for that particular area, it's a very dense area in terms of need. It's a very pronounced area with respect to not only needs with respect to HOPWA clients, but also in general homelessness issues. We do try throughout the department to leverage our different programs to provide as much services for folks of a spectrum of need. We do have contractors on board that we've had relationships with for quite some time, and so we rely on them to provide extensive and intensive services to those clients. So when we open up these opportunities, we do provide ample time and technical assistance for those that not only are in regular contact with us, but also we try to open up our opportunities for other service providers to enter into our program as well. At the end of the day, it is a decision for contractors or for service providers to apply to our opportunities, but we make every opportunity and every availability to provide them with assistance and information so that they can apply to our RFP opportunities.
So these are choices that these are business choices they're making.
The bottom line is yes, sir.
Okay. I appreciate that. I guess that could be subject of a longer conversation, but
Most definitely, and we have been in conversation with your staff,
Yeah.
and it's a conversation ongoing in our department on finding better ways to extend that opportunity to provide technical assistance and to build that robust pool of applicants in the future. But it is a challenge. It's an ongoing challenge.
okay. So let's adopt we have comment on it. Jeff Bailey from AIDS Project LA and Anthony Brazier, Foothill AIDS Project. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Bailey. I'm the Director of Client Services at AIDS Project Los Angeles. We are currently the regional housing provider in South Los Angeles, and we are also part of the Regional Housing Center in SPA 4, but it's what they call SPA 4 West into Santa Monica. I just would hope that we would just take
Very west.
That is very west. That's just how it was carved out by HCID.
Right.
But I just would, with regards to the decision for out in the San Gabriel Valley, I would just like you to take a pause a bit, mainly because for those agencies, particularly ourselves with BNSSTAR Human Services and Ultimate, we've never received any feedback about our grant applications. I also, as a housing provider, this is a very sizable amount of money given to an agency, about $1.7 million. And so I would just really want to ensure that those agencies we're funding have considerable organizational capacity with regards to their fiscal capacity as well as programmatic capacity. As one of those agencies currently doing that, it's very imperative because we saw in this first process there were some gaps in funding. Some agencies were not able to float that money for that time, so there was a gap in services where some other agencies are able to do that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes.
Hi, my name is Anthony Brazier. I am the housing coordinator for Foothill Age Project, and we're one of the chosen agencies. And I wanted to just talk real quickly about our service. And basically, we, as an agency, we are currently covering all of San Bernardino in terms of housing services. We've been providing housing services for SPA 3 for up to 16 years. We're actually providing housing services in Pasadena. We are partnering with JWCH. We're partnering with AIDS Healthcare Foundation, East Valley Community, which is in El Monte, East Valley Community in Pomona. All three agencies are the direct HIV and AIDS healthcare providers for SPA 3. I also brought along our subcontractor, Los Angeles for Alcohol and Drugs, Centers for Alcohol and Drugs.
Go ahead.
Okay, and so they're going to be partnering with us to provide the housing services for all of SPA 7. And I wanted to just kind of get Lawrence to kind of speak about their agency and the long history of being in that area, providing direct services for that area.
You have to submit a card.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So, well, anyway, they have provided over 17 years of services in that area. They also do drug and alcohol treatment for clients who are HIV positive in their out of their office. They also do prevention, and they do have an office in East LA. So we do have the capacity to cover it, and we also do HIV and AIDS services in the west end of Riverside. So we've been doing cross-county services for years, and we have our pamphlets.
Okay.
For you guys. Thank you.
It's a big service area.
Yeah.
These things are huge.
Yeah,
we recognize that. No, I appreciate it. Gentlemen, colleagues, questions? Mr. Wizard? Nope. Okay, then let's move to adopt the CAO report. Second by Mr. Price. No objection. So be the order.
Mr. Chair, takes us to item 4, CAO, CLA, and HCID report relative to Proposition HHH.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Yolanda Chavez with the CAO's office. Before you is a report outlining the next steps needed to implement Proposition HHH, or a $1.2 billion general obligation bond measure that will allow us to finance supportive housing units and facilities for the homeless. Given that this report, as you know, was heard by the Homelessness and Poverty Committee, we're going to be brief. And so I'm going to go through the recommendations very quickly, and then my colleagues from HCID and the CLA will respond to questions. So in terms of the next steps, we're asking you to approve the HCID, or the Housing and Community Investment Department, as a departmental sponsor for the Proposition HHH housing program, and the CAO as a departmental sponsor for the Prop HHH facilities program. As part of the bond issuance process, the departmental sponsors have to come forward with a project expenditure plan annually for approval by the Citizens Oversight Committee, the Administrative Oversight Committee, and the Council and Mayor. That then outlines the bond issuance for that year. So that's what we're asking you as part of the recommendations. as well as to instruct HCID to propose their HHH program going forward to the Citizens Oversight Committee, and to allow them to develop their project expenditure plan for the first bond issuance from the managed pipeline, so projects that are ready to go within their pipeline and would be ready to expand the issuance within 24 months. So these would be projects that are ready to break ground. Also to instruct the CAO to present our proposed HHH facilities program to this Citizens Oversight Committee for review, and then to be able to forward that to the Administrative Oversight Committee, the Council, and Mayor, along with both for HCID and CAO any staffing needs or additional needs they may have. The final recommendation is to allow to approve HCID and the City Attorney to receive some substitute authorities now so that they can get started on the program implementation and building the pipeline for the future. So for HCID, we're requesting 2 positions, and for the City Attorney, 1. This would be, if approved, would provide salaries for 4 months, from March through June, through a general fund loan that would then be repaid by bond proceeds once we issue the bonds. So with that, if you have any questions, my colleagues and I are available to answer those.
Colleagues?
This is, of course, an exciting development. Lots of congratulations all around. This is really going to be monumental. When do we actually expect dollars to start hitting the street, though, on this?
So the schedule, in the report attachment 2, we outlined the schedule for this year's bond issuance, which is basically going to be similar every year. But the process would be that once the COC and AOC approve the project expenditure plan through HCID for projects that are ready to go, our debt team within the CO's office will compile a report with that, with the authorizing resolution that would come forward to council, and that's how you give them authority to issue bonds. They would issue the bonds in early July, and so we would expect to have the money in the bond account by mid-July, and then it really depends how quickly HCID closes the loans.
So there are kind of 2 paths that we're looking at right now. John Wickham with the Chief Legislative Analyst. So the first is the COC is really, the Citizens Oversight Committee has a critical role in helping develop the program that moves forward. And because of the timing, getting them to meet and develop a full program to meet the time requirements to sell the bonds immediately is maybe a little too tight. So what staff have seen is that it might be possible for the housing department to find some projects that are immediately available in the pipeline today that can be moved forward this year. And so the housing department is doing that analysis, and we'll bring that forward to the COC. So that's a way to kickstart this as soon as possible. And then that gives the COC some time over the next couple of months to work with HCID and the CAO and CLA to put together a robust program that can roll out over the coming years after that. So you'll see a quick start approach and then a long-term approach as well. So, but the schedule that the CAO, Yolanda just mentioned, applies every year. Those dates in that calendar and attachment 2 are driven by the requirements of the county to place, the assessments on the bill, on the property tax bill. So there are real tight deadlines that we're obligated to comply with on our side in order to get the information over to the county.
Okay. So why don't we adopt the joint report with amendment that report back with recommendations for a permanent staffing plan for the implementation of HHH housing and facilities includes staffing in appropriate departments such as planning and public works to ensure the expediting of HHH housing and facilities. Second that?
Second.
Second? No objection? So be the order.
Okay, Mr. Chair, that concludes the regular agenda. Would you like to adjourn the regular meeting and go into the special meeting?
Can I just ask you to amend that to maybe to ask us to report back? One of the challenges we have with bond proceeds is that we have to confirm with our bond counsel as to this kind of staffing we can pay for. So we've gotten confirmation from them that we can pay for staff, the underwriters at the attorneys that basically work on the project from underwriting through construction, but we don't know if we can get the bond proceeds to pay for staff on planning or on the other side. So we just have to confirm that, but we'll bring that to you.
I think that
Right.
that fits, that falls within this
report.
Yes, the report. Yeah. Okay. You were saying?
Mr. Chair, would you like to adjourn the regular meeting and go to the special
Yes, let's
meeting?
adjourn and go to the special.
So, Mr. Chair, that would be either public comment or...
Public comment first. Herman?
Herman and Ms. Ramirez left.
Okay, don't see them. Ms. Ramirez is gone. Wayne, come on up.
General public comment?
It's item 1 in the special agenda. It's not general public comment.
Oh, really? Okay. So we were going to do our inspections once every 3 years. Now you got your campaign donations. Now you got bought and paid for and paid off, so it's going to be once every 4 years. It's bad. And you know, you guys know better than this shit. You know 4 years is too much. It should be once every 3 years. You read the report. They came to 3 years for a reason. 4 years is too much. Once every 3 years, 36-month inspections are the standard. So the fact that you're going to increase this by 12 months, it shows that you don't give a shit about the renters and the people. You just care about developers and campaign donators. You sold the people out again.
Thank you. Carlos Aguilar and Fred Sutton.
Carlos Aguilar, Coalition for Economic Survival. We agree that the priority must be placed on properties that are poorly maintained, have had the most violations, and present the greatest challenges to ensuring tenants have a habitable place to live. A tiered inspection program makes sense. Having a 4-year cycle for better maintained properties will make it easier to implement a shorter 2-year inspection cycle for poorly maintained properties with chronic housing code violations. And while there is no request for a SCEP fee increase at this time, we do want to, again, raise the fact that the current fee structure is totally unjust. There's no justification for the entire SCEP fee burden to fall on the backs of those who can least afford to pay and are not the ones responsible for the need to have a SCEP program. At the very least, the fee should be split between tenants and landlords as the RSO registration fee currently is. SCEP is a program that addresses landlords' failures to maintain a property. Thus, landlords should be the ones to pay. We urge you consider revising the unfair SCEP fee and bring equity in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sutton.
Fred Sutton.
On the virtues of this program.
Fred Sutton with the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles. Thank you, council members, and thank you particularly to the Housing Department. This is a great example of working on the side of the residents of the city. It hones in on those that need the extra attention while rewarding the good actors. We're fully supportive of it. It is common sense. So thank you for reviewing this. And I just also want to point out, often you hear a lot in the papers on the bad actors, but as the data shows, 96% of owners fall into the compliant category and have terrific relationships with their tenants. Thank you very much. Fully supportive.
Colleagues?
Mr. Chair, I should just read into the record item 1, ordinance to change the frequency of periodic housing inspections performed under the systematic code enforcement program.
Let me commend the HCID and whoever drafted this new scheme. It's consistent with our community policing model and many of the other approaches that focuses resources in the areas where there's greatest need and getting the greatest efficiency out of it. In many instances, like this instance, appears to be able to be accomplished without additional resources. So, congratulations to everybody who was involved in this. Senator, we have a recommendation to adopt the draft ordinance forthwith to council.
I'll move the recommendation.
Thank you so much. We got a second. No objections. So be the order. Is there anything else on your?
I believe that concludes the committee's business.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon.